So this is the second generation Fire TV. Now this device is from 2015 and it runs FireOS version 5.2, the exact same as the second generation Fire TV stick. Now even though this device is 5 years old, I still think it's one of the best devices that Amazon have ever made. I mean, this thing has a USB port, it has built-in Ethernet, it has a micro SD card slot that you can use to expand the internal storage. And performance-wise, guys, no joke, this thing is still a beast even today. And if I show you some of the benchmarks, which you'll see on the screen in just a second, you can see performance-wise, this device can still hold its own even to this day. Now where it's lacking is it is running a very old version of Android. FireOS 5 is Android 5.1, which as we know compared to today is very, very old. The second generation Fire TV Cube, for example, is running FireOS 7, which in fact is Android 9. So big difference from this device. Now even on this old device, we can still make some changes on this device to improve the performance, to enhance the user interface, and really just to get the most from this very old device. So if you guys do have those older devices, the older Fire TV sticks or the older Fire TVs, then I do have some more tutorials coming up which will show you how you can do things like freeze applications, debloat the device, access USB storage and stuff like that. So if you guys are interested in that, then make sure you are subscribed. But today's video is how we can replace the stock Amazon launcher with the Android TV one, because as you know, with the standard Amazon launcher, we get all of these adverts, we get the sponsored content, and we get these sponsored applications and much, much more. But with the custom launcher, we have complete control. We don't get any adverts, no sponsored content, and the performance of the custom launcher is just so much faster than the stock launcher, especially on these older devices. So with all of that being said, let's get started. If you're new to the channel and you want to stay up to date with the latest tech tutorials, the latest Fire Stick, Android and Android TV tips and tricks, then please do subscribe and hit the notification bell. It's a small click from you, but it makes a big difference to me. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to do my demonstration on the second generation Fire TV, but I've also tested this process fully on the second generation Fire TV stick, which I still know is a very, very popular device. And I can confirm it works properly on all of those devices without any issue. Now to get this process working, the first thing we're going to do is go over to Downloader. Let's click on that. And inside Downloader, we're going to make a connection to my website, which as we know is just http://bit.ly/tduk, that's me, and the numbers 2019. Let's type that in and click on go, or just press the play button on your remote. Now this will take you straight to my website, and just as a quick tip here guys, when you do get to my site, it will make things so much easier if you just press the context key and select the option add the current page into your favorites, because once you've done that, the next time you follow one of my tutorials, you don't have to type in the website address again. You can go straight to your favorites and access my site from there. So that definitely will save you some time in the future. Now when you get to my site, you want to click on the hamburger menu and let's go to tutorials. Now another tip here guys, I've seen quite a few messages where people say they get to my tutorials page, but when they scroll down, they cannot see the latest tutorial in the list. And the quickest fix for that is just press the context key and select this option here, which is disable JavaScript and reload the page. The thing that we want to do is just reload the page, but unfortunately it's kind of like tied in with this option here. So let's click on this option once, which will actually reload the page, and this will then refresh and make sure you do have the latest tutorial on this page. Once you have refreshed the page, let's just press the context key again, just to make sure that we do leave JavaScript enabled. So let's click on that, and then you're all set to go. So let's open the latest tutorial in the list, and here is the latest tutorial. So it's called Use Android TV Launcher on all Amazon devices. And the reason why it's all Amazon devices is because now this process does work on everything, but depending on what device you have, you do have to follow a slightly different process. Okay, so let's scroll down. So the first thing we need to do is get the new updated tduk Fire TV settings. And this is needed on all devices, whether you have the older Fire TVs or the latest 4K Fire Stick. We definitely need this. So let's click on that now. Let's scroll down and make sure you only click on this green download button. So let's click on that now. Now download the tduk Fire TV settings directly onto your device. Okay, let's click on install. We can see this looks different because this is running an older version of Android. Let's click on install. Let's click on done. Let's click on done again. Let's now press the back button So that's the first file. Now, as we can see here, the tdoctoruk Fire TV helper application is only used for devices running FireOS 6 and 7, so the 4K Fire Stick, the second generation FireTV Cube. As this device is an older device, we don't need the second thing. Let's go down. And what we do need is the brand new FireTV toolbox, which is specifically designed for these older devices. Now, this is actually a phone application or a tablet application, so we're going to open that up on our cell phone. Let me get that now. Okay, so on my Android phone, I'm going to click on the tdoctoruk FireTV toolbox. Let's click on that. Let's scroll down. And let's click on the green download button. And this application will work on any Android phone or any Android tablet. And the reason why we need this toolbox is on these older devices running FireOS 5, we cannot make remote ADB connections directly on the device itself like you can with the 4K Fire Stick and newer devices. Unfortunately, on these older devices, it just doesn't work, which is why we have to do this from a remote device. Okay, that's now downloaded. Let's put that down. Let's also get the lean back launcher. Let's click on that. Scroll down. Click on the download button. And in fact, just while we're waiting, guys, if you are enjoying these tutorials on these older devices or newer stuff on the 4K Fire Stick or the second generation Fire TV Cube or the NVIDIA Shield, then please do like this video, guys, and also think about subscribing, because really that is the best way you can help support my channel. So many thanks in advance for that. Okay, let's scroll down and click on install. So that's the second application we've installed on the Fire TV, and we've installed one application on my Android phone. Okay, let's click on done. Let's click on done again. Let's press the back button. Now, the last thing, if you want to have a custom background, let's also download this wallpaper image, but really you can download any picture you want from the internet and just rename it to background.jpg, but I will show you how you can do that at the end of this video. Let's click on that now. Okay, that's the background image downloading, and let's just click on done. And the last application is Explore the File Manager. And the reason why you may want to have this on your device is it's a great way for you to copy files, to rename files, to move things around. It's a really great file manager. So as we're going to be downloading pictures from the internet and moving them around, let's also download this. And that's the last thing we're going to be downloading today. Okay, let's click on install. Let's click on done. Let's click on done again. Okay, so we can now press the home key. Let's now start this process. Now that we have everything installed, the very first thing we're going to do is go to settings, go into my Fire TV, go to developer options. As we can see here, that ADB debugging is on, but just for good measure, I'm going to turn that off just for a few seconds, just to make sure that if there's any problems with there, if it's maybe hung or something else, just turning it off and on really is the best way you can fix that problem. So give that about 10 seconds. Let's turn that back on. Let's press the back key. Let's now go into About, because we want to find the IP address of our Fire TV or our device, because we're then going to make that connection from our cell phone to then apply those settings for us. Let's click on About, click on Network, and here we can just confirm that my IP address ends in 125. So that's all we need to do there. Let's press the home key. Let's now jump over to my smartphone. Let's open up the application. Now, when you start the application, the only thing it's going to ask you is, what is the IP address of your device? Now, in my case, we know the IP address is 192.168.0.125. So let's correct that. So let's type in 125, and let's click on connect. And this is the key thing, guys, because we need to see that prompt on the screen asking us, do you accept the ADB connection, which just never worked before properly on these older devices. So let's click on connect. And there it is, guys. We've now got the prompt on our TV asking us, do you want to allow this connection? And what I want to do now is just click on OK. You can also click on this, always allow that. Let's do that first and click on OK. Once you do that, we'll now see that the application is connected. So there's now an ADB connection from my cell phone to my old second generation Fire TV. So all we need to do now is, and we can see the first option here is set up Fire TV settings. That's the first application installed, but this is going to configure it for us. So let's click on go and let's see if that works. First time with no typing, with no manual ADB or anything like that. I clicked on one button, and what do we see on the screen? We have the tdoctoruk Fire TV launcher settings all working with the correct permission, and that's all ready to go without any typing. So guys, definitely do give a massive thumbs up for that. That's it, guys. So I can now put down this phone. I can now click here where it says, what do you want to use as your launcher? Let's click on that. I can scroll down. Let's now select the lean back launcher. Let's scroll down again. Let's click on save. And now what happens when I press the home key? And we've now gone from the stock Amazon launcher to this really slick looking Android TV launcher. And as we can just see, guys, everything is really fast, really smooth. Of course, no adverts, no sponsored content, nothing like that. That's all working great. Okay, so how can we now tweak this launcher to get it looking exactly how we like it? Well, the first thing I like to do is change the background. So now the way we're going to do that is to use Explore, the file manager, to move that background image that we downloaded from Downloader into a special folder where this launcher can then see it. So let's do that now. Let's open up the file manager. Let's scroll down. And we're going to look at the downloader folder because that's the application we use to download that background image from my website. But of course, you can use the downloader application to download any picture you want from any website or from Google Images. Find a nice picture, download it. It will then appear in this folder. Let's open that up. Let's scroll down. Now, anything you do download will probably have a different file name, and all you need to do is just rename that picture to background.jpg. In my example, because it's from my website, I already called it background.jpg to make it easier, but whatever the file is called, if you do need to rename it, just press and hold select and select the option rename. And just make sure it's called background.jpg as mine is. So once you have your image there, all we need to do now is just press and hold the select button and select copy. Now in my previous videos I did say copy it to clipboard and then paste it at the top level, but if you select copy, we can see by default it does send it to the right folder anyway. So as long as I click on OK here, it's going to copy that file into the right location and you get the message that's now copied. Okay, so once that's been copied into the right location, let's press the home key. Let's now select that background image. So let's go down, go to launcher settings, go down. Let's click on default wallpaper. Let's click on choose wallpaper. And here we can just see it's looking for that background image in that default location. Let's click on that. Let's now press the home key. And there we are, guys. We now have a really nice looking background behind all of these tiles. So that's how you basically change the background image of the Android UI launcher. The next thing I like to do is create some favorites because as you can see, if you do have lots of applications, it can take a while scrolling through all of them. But let's say, for example, I regularly use this application over here. I'm going to press the context key on that and select add to favorites. Let's press the back button and we can see now we have a new row of favorites. So let's add some more applications. Let's add this one over here, add to favorites, press the back button. And we can just see they now have their own rows. So especially if you do have lots of applications, it just makes it so much easier having the regularly used ones in their own dedicated applications rows. So that's the next thing I like to do. The next thing I like to do is customize the size of these tiles because depending on how big your TV is, if it's ultra wide or something else, you may want to tweak that. Now the way we can do that is if we go down into launcher settings, let's go down to banner's appearance. And here we can see the banner size. So that can go down to 50% and up to 200%. So I like to change the 100 down to maybe, shall we say about 75. Let's click on next. Let's press the home key now. And we can see, guys, it just looks a little bit nicer on my screen. But again, it does depend on what kind of TV you have. Okay, so we've customized these tiles. We've customized the background. And we've added in the favorites row, but as this is a custom launcher, you really can customize it as much as you like. Okay, so how do we now get the long press home menu key? Because with the default launcher, when you press and hold the home key, you get the extra menu where you can see the settings, enable display mirroring, and also put the device to sleep. But we can see on a custom launcher, if I press and hold the home key, you can see it does nothing. So how do we do that? Well, the shortcut on this launcher is to press and hold the context key, and whilst that's pressed, we're going to press the home key for just a second. So press and hold this. Press this for a second, and there it is, guys. So it is a little bit flaky, but it definitely works. But let me just do it one more time. So press and hold the context key and press this for a second. That's how you access the long press home key shortcut. So let's say you want to go back to the stock launcher for just a second, like maybe you want to check something or something else. The quickest way to do that is if you go down here and click on system. This will take you to the system settings, but now press the back button. This takes you back to the stock launcher temporarily. Maybe you want to check something or maybe you missed these adverts. That's the quickest way to temporarily get back to the stock launcher. But of course, as soon as you press the home key, it takes you back to the custom launcher. And lastly, how do we actually get rid of the custom launcher and go back to the stock launcher permanently? Well, the easiest way to do that is go over to FireTV settings, press the context key on that, go to app settings. This brings you straight over here. I can now click on uninstall, click on uninstall again, we're back here, but watch what happens when I press the home key. We are now back to the stock launcher. So that's all for this video, guys. Many thanks for watching. So many, and I literally mean so many of you are asking on how we can customize these older FireOS 5 devices without doing any kind of manual typing. So if you did find this video useful, do give it a thumbs up. As previously mentioned, I will be doing some more tutorials on these older devices. If you guys are interested in that kind of stuff, then make sure you are subscribed. And of course, lots of new tutorials coming for the NVIDIA Shield Pro and the FireTV Cube and the other newer devices. So make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you like and share this video, and I'll hopefully catch up with you guys real soon. Thanks.